Imagine being a young man with no one to turn to, no guidance, and no hope for the future. For many young men, this is a reality they face every day. But a few good mentors is here to make a difference in their lives, and we need your help. Our team of cyclists is embarking on a 200-mile journey to raise funds for our mentoring program. We believe that every young man deserves a positive role model who can help guide them towards a better future. With your support, we can make that a reality. Your donation can help provide these young men with the tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and hopelessness. Every dollar counts, and every dollar can make a real difference in their lives. We know times are tough, and there are many causes out there vying for your attention, but we ask that you take a moment to consider the impact your donation could make. Your generosity could change the trajectory of a young man's life forever. So please, donate today and help us create a brighter future for these young men. They need us, and with your support, we can make a difference.
Blessed.
Anybody in here blessed?
I'm blessed.
Anybody in here blessed?
I'm blessed.
Anybody in here blessed?
I'm blessed.
Anybody in here blessed?
Blessed.
Anybody in here blessed?
I'm blessed.
Anybody in
Wishes make you feel like less.
Anybody in here blessed?
I'm blessed.
Anybody in here blessed?
I'm blessed. Wait, get your phone, text your people, they should. All the problems and your needs if you just lawyer, doctor, anything if you just. You got some questions about some things you just. You a king, be the king. You just got proper comfort for the queens if they live in favor, see the dream. Get your phone, text your people, they should.
Okay, welcome back to the mailbox. This is Michael Morgan. I'm with Brian Ajayi, and we definitely miss Mark this month on the mailbox. He'll be back next month for sure, but today is just me and Brian. No guests. We're just chopping it up, Brian. We just talking about whatever comes to your mind, Brian. Just talk about it. We don't care what it is. It can be sports, entertainment, whatever it is. We're asking all of our listeners and viewers, whoever you are, just come on in and join the conversation. We got a lot to get to today. A lot has going on. But first of all, Brian, how you doing? How you doing, man?
I am good. I'm good. It's been a good week. Got a busy weekend ahead. A lot of stuff happening. But I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. And you know, I know everybody is so busy, but it's so much going on. Man, if you are in the DMV area, this story is gonna blow your mind. It seriously is gonna blow your mind. And I'm not laughing at it. It's just sad. It really is sad. I think we've hit rock bottom. Every time I say that, Brian, something else come up. But the story of a young man in PG County was on the school bus, right? And I don't have the exact article right in front of me, so I'm just talking about it. I think Brian may have more details, but he's on the school bus, right? Some kid a couple of kids gets on the school bus, pistol whip another kid on the school bus, points the gun at his chest. Luckily, and thank God that the gun jammed is what I heard, that the gun jammed and bullets fell out and he wasn't able to shoot him. But and then I guess they ran off the bus. But on a school bus, I mean, every time we hear stories that are crazy like this, I keep saying to myself, when will enough be enough, right? You know, it's just crazy. And so, you know, Brian, have you heard that story?
Yeah, I heard it, and I mean, I saw the pictures that they released, and it looks like these kids that got on the bus and did it were what, like 11, 12?
Yeah.
They couldn't have been no older than 13 or 14 at the most, and it's crazy that we're in a time where at 11, 12, 13, 14, your first thought is, I'm going to pick up a gun
Right.
and to solve my problems. It's like, how far have we fallen? Like,
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
crazy.
Exactly. And if I could speak to these young people, these young men right now, like, I doubt if they're listening, but come on now. Like, enough is enough. We got to do something. I was listening to a song. I don't know, you guys might be a little bit younger, but KRS-One, the rapper, had a song back in, I want to say, the 90s called Self Destruction. This is what we're doing. This is self destruction. We're killing ourselves over what? What could be that bad in your life that you would walk on a school bus, point a gun, and try to shoot somebody on the bus?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, something has to give, and that's where mentoring comes in. You know, as men, we have to say to ourselves, I got to do something. I got to step up and do something to try to save the next generation, to save, because these stories go on and on. And to be honest with you, it's not nothing new. I was talking to my son, you know, a couple months ago, and I told him, like, let's do some research. Look back like 40, 50 years of the Washington Post. Same story, Brian. Somebody got shot in Southeast or Northeast DC. Somebody gets shot in every city. When are we going to say enough is enough? We're going to do something about it. And through mentoring, you can do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that's why it's important. You know, it's not, I can't even say it's a shameless plug at this point. It's a plug. Like, this is why organizations like AFGM are important, you know, planting seeds at a very young age to show people that there is a path forward that does not involve violence. It does not involve disrespecting your elders or disrespecting your peers. There's a path forward to a very successful and prosperous life that can be led with love and compassion. And so, you know, that in itself is a major reason why I'm honored and I'm glad to be a part of an organization like this that is willing to sacrifice time and effort to plant those seeds in young people so that they don't end up like these young people that we read about in this story.
Right. And I definitely appreciate you, our producers, Jamar and Cece, for, you know, all that they're doing, all of our board members, you know, for all the tireless work that they do, the mentors that's associated with A Few Good Mentors. I mean, it's crazy out here, but you know what? We can make a change. We just have to do it one family at a time, one person at a time, and it can be done. And just like Brian, you know, you're president of your Christian fraternity. Even if you're in college, you can still turn things around, be a part of just not a fraternity or sorority just for parties and stuff like that, but to make a real impact. And I'm not putting down any fraternities or sororities or anything like that. It's just yours, though, has a, you know, a special agenda. You know what I mean? Because of your faith, and that's an amazing thing in itself, really. You know, and so you definitely should be acknowledged for that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm honored to serve as, you know, the national president of Alpha Nu Omega. Shameless plug, www.alphanuomega.org. But no, like you said, like beyond just mentorship, you know, our huge focus within that organization is just mental health awareness and people not being afraid to acknowledge that there is something that may be off and being comfortable enough to getting the help that they need so they don't feel like they have to resort to such dire or reckless behavior. So you know, there's always, you know, my life is always devoted to helping people. And so, you know, if you're ever in an area where you feel like, you know, you need that help, you need those resources, like, feel free to reach out to me or my organization. You can find our information at the website, www.alphanuomega.org. Or even if you want to be a part, if you want to donate, if you want to become a member, I know we're having another national interest meeting coming up. Shameless plug, May 9th. If anybody wants to, hop on and learn more. But yeah, they are resources between AFGM, my organization.
Exactly.
When you talk about mental health, NAMI is another organization that does a lot of great work.
Right.
There are resources out here for people, and if you need them, reach out. Like we have connections.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's plenty of organizations that out there that can help you. And I know you got your national conference coming up. Is it August or is it did you move it up?
It's in August. But I don't want to let the details out of the bag yet because we're still waiting on some stuff. But there's a major event that's brewing.
Okay. You talking about me? You talking?
Yeah. There's a major event that's brewing that I'm excited about. It was literally confirmed earlier this week. Yeah, you know how God works. He places something in your spirit, and I had shared the vision with someone who I hadn't talked to. Like I literally dreamed this thing in detail.
Okay.
And I had shared it with one of my vice presidents, and she was like, "Let me send you something." And she sent me some meeting notes from the night before. Mind you, I hadn't talked to her, and everything that they discussed in this meeting is what God placed in my spirit in that dream. So we got to finalize some things, but hopefully next time around I can announce it. But it's a major event that's coming down the pike that I'm excited to share with everybody.
Yeah. Well, if it's you and if it's Alpha Nu Omega, I know it's gonna be good. So we definitely looking forward to that. Also, just to let everybody know, this fall, a few good mentors, we're about to do something big. It's gonna be big, and so that again, Brian, I don't want to give too much, but I'll just let everybody know that we're going to turn some things around. Like, we're going to turn some things around. We're going to shake some things up. We're going to really get more involved, even more involved in the community by really helping raise some gentlemen out there. And so, so look forward to that next month for sure. We're gonna have some more information on that, but I'm looking forward to that. So we got a lot of good things going. If you are interested in connecting with us, www.afgmmentoring.net. It's on the screen. You can contact us on all the social media platforms, and we are there to help out a lot of families and people out there. We definitely need mentors. And we definitely need mentors. We opened up our Atlanta office. And speaking of Atlanta, the last couple of days have been crazy down there as well, Brian. Like, the shooter and things like that. And one of the things that the shooter's mom said was the lack of male mentorship. And I believe we posted that on social media. So I'm telling you, you cannot go through life alone. You have to have a network of good men around you. You got to have it. Like if you're a young male, you got to have it. You're just not going to be successful without a network of good people around you, good Christian men who are doing the right thing. And so the Atlanta situation is, I'm just glad it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But these stories keep going on and on every day. And I don't know about you, Brian, but I was speaking at the Virginia School Lunch Association conference about a month or two ago. And one of the things I said, Brian, was this is going to continue to go on, these shootings, until we start to vote for people who can make real change. And so, and you know what? If they're not making real change, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, let's get them out of there. And let's get some people who are going to make some real differences. And let's just try it. What can hurt? If it doesn't work, we just go back to the way it was, and we elect the same type of people. but let's try something different. You know what I mean? Like, but you got to vote, right? You know,
Yeah, and vote for common sense and not like that's one thing I hate about, and this is a whole nother topic, but that's one thing that I dislike about our political system. It's how we focus so much on political party to the point where uh we will ignore common sense warning signs, and we will elect people only because they represent our party, not our party, our party.
right.
And it's really annoying. That's why I was so proud of Maryland. Over the last 8 years, we're in Maryland, we're a heavy Democrat state. Like I think Democrats outnumber Republicans like 9-1, maybe, or it's a huge number, but like we kind of realized that we needed a change, and we elected a 2-term Republican governor that literally, I don't have a problem with the guy. I thought he was a wonderful governor.
I thought he was.
His party, he did some great things.
Yeah,
and that's just the common sense and practical application that we can just utilize as a people across the board. Like we have to stop just looking at, well, what party is this person a part of? Look at their voting record. Look at what they support. Like we got to make common sense decisions that, and I just feel like we should just have a blind election and just look at the facts. Don't look at no party affiliations. Don't even put them on the ballot. Like look at their record and make a decision.
Yeah. And I know you've been on interview panels and things like that, but that's what an election is. It's an interview for a job. But for some reason, we think, okay, they don't have to adhere to the same things as the people that they represent have to adhere to. And so we've got to hold them accountable to a higher level. And so if they're not meeting that level, I don't care how charismatic and how well they speak or do things. If they're not representing the values of you and your family, then don't vote for them. And if they don't have a real plan for the future, don't vote for them. And so, but we got to get some people in there who are going to make some, and that means even the smaller elections, not just the big presidential elections, but also, your city council members and state representatives and things like that. Let's make it a point that I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or independent. Let's make it a point. All AFGM, like we're gonna get out to vote. We're gonna get some people out there voting. Just vote. I met a young man this week, and he said that he doesn't vote. He probably was about your age, Brian, and he said, "Yeah, I don't vote. I don't trust any of the parties." And that's a person that doesn't understand history, because historically we have to vote. There's too many people who died for that right for us to just kind of throw it away in a way. So let's get out there. Let's push people to vote, and let's just, whatever that is for you. I'm not telling you to vote in any particular way, but do something. Hopefully you did your research and you get out there and you vote, because a non-vote means you don't have a voice. You can't say nothing. If you're not voting, I don't want to hear from you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not getting out there voting, don't complain about anything. Be happy with how things are going and go from there. But we got to get out there and vote.
Definitely do. Every vote counts.
Yeah. And I hate to keep bringing up bad news, but this has been like a bad news kind of week or day. But did you see the guy in New York on the New York subway?
Yeah, I saw that video.
Is that crazy or what, Brian? I mean, it's Brian, like, and the people standing around watching him choke out this guy, like, I don't know what to say. It's like, it's one thing to do something, like, just for people who are not aware, former Marine on the New York subway, I guess the guy was a Michael Jackson impersonator. Seemed like he probably had some mental issues. He's always there dancing. There was some type of conflict, and this Marine ended up choking him in one of those chokeholds from just wrapping his legs around him and choking him out. I think about 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, and he ended up dying, like this homeless guy. So, I don't know what causes people to be that way, but apparently the New York police did not, as of right now, have not pressed charges. Hopefully they will.
Yeah, he needs to go to jail, and God bless all our servicemen. I have the utmost respect for them. But we've come to a point where people have just lost control. And I read the story, and I understand why people in that atmosphere were a little uneasy. But at no point should your response be to go and choke out someone because they made you uncomfortable. They said that the gentleman that died, he was very frustrated. He had made the comment of,
right,
I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of having to beg for everything. I'm tired of not getting opportunity. And just those words are indicative of someone who has been struggling and is in need of help. And instead of help, he got a death certificate. Like it blows my mind. And there's no way to justify it. There's no way you can say it was a mistake. You can say you were trying to protect yourself, given the atmosphere. You can say whatever you want. But for you to sit there and choke somebody for 15 minutes and you're a trained Marine.
Yeah.
No, there's no excuse. Just like if you're a boxer and you punch somebody and they die, that boxer is going to jail without any conversation, because when you become a boxer, your hands are registered as lethal weapons. So if you're in the Marines and you have been trained to do certain things and you use those skills outside of the scope of what you were trained to do, you should go to jail. Right. And he needs to go to jail.
Yeah. Hands down, he needs to go to jail. No doubt, no question about it. Hopefully the New York police will do the right thing and at least bring him up on charges. Regardless, we've all had confrontations with homeless people, right? I mean, if you live in any major city, you've had issues, but you just walk away. Like, what gives you the right to do that? You know what I mean? It's the world that we live in, I guess, right now, but it just seems crazy to me. It really does.
Yeah.
But so that's that. Okay, we're gonna put aside the bad news and try to focus on some good news. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the NBA playoff. Do you like basketball, Brian?
I do like basketball, but I tend to not pay as much attention to it because I'm sick and tired of this LeBron debate. I don't even know why it's a debate.
Right. So the debate is he better than Jordan, right? Is that what you refer to?
Yeah, that. And I mean, in my opinion, you can't put LeBron at number 2
right.
You can't. What happened to Kobe? I'm not a Kobe fan, but I'm very aware that Kobe Bryant
is number 2.
He's as close to Jordan as this era should ever have seen. And I don't understand how LeBron has totally surpassed Kobe in the conversation. That's just me.
If anybody is listening, or if later you want to debate this, we will do a special show. We'll wait. We usually do a monthly mailbox, but you know what? Let's throw it out there, Brian. Let's throw it out there.
Because I got facts. I can debate this topic all day.
I'm telling you, if you think LeBron is better than Kobe and Jordan, let's have that debate. But you got to bring some facts to it. Don't come with, well, I like LeBron. No, you got to bring some facts. But if you believe in that, let's have that. Look, we'll do a special show. We don't even have to wait a month. We'll do a special show and have LeBron. Okay, thank you, Jamar Cz, for throwing that up there. They put up LeBron's picture, but and look, I'm from Ohio. LeBron is from Ohio. I think LeBron is fantastic, right? But it goes Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, possibly LeBron. But we still missing a bunch of people. Okay, I get it. Our producers have a lot of sense of humor, but I like LeBron. I do, but you know, the NBA, they want him to win so bad, don't they?
They do.
So
They
bad,
do.
so bad. And so by the time, so they're playing tonight is April 4th or May 4th. And so they're playing tonight, and if you watch this later, they probably would have already played, but boy, I tell you what, Brian, if the Lakers end up winning the championship, that's all we're gonna hear for about 6 months. I'm telling you that now.
If they win the championship, I'm officially giving up on the NBA.
You know what? I might be right there with you. I might be right there with you. Okay, so something else special I want to do. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to Pamela and Leroy Evans in Chicago, Illinois. They came up with these cards, and we're gonna try to post a better picture of them, but they're called A Different Conversation. Um, there you go, different conversation, and it's called A Different Conversation, chopping it up man to man, and it's a group of cards. I think they have about 150 cards with different topics on them. I think it's great. I think it's the conversation is great. Their website is fantastic, and I believe, and I'm not sure, CC or Jamar, if you have the website, if you could put it up. But she's a good friend, good dear friend of mine. Intentionallysignificant.com. They have an enormous amount of other material as well. They will speak there. They will speak at any event that you have as well. And I just think the world of Pamela and her husband. I think they're both great. Their relationship coaches, and so if you have any issues with your relationship, they're good people to talk to. But what I wanted to do, Brian, is just you and I kind of answer some of the questions on the cards. Now, I didn't pull all of them because, like I said, it's about 150, but let's see what you think. And I'm telling you, I have not looked at these, so I'm just pulling them off the top of the deck. I have no idea what the question is. So we both are going to be surprised when I read it. Okay, first question, Brian, you ready?
First question, I'm ready.
Okay, and there's the cards, A Different Conversation. Okay, here's a good one, Brian. Here's a good one. And I'm gonna ask a question. You can answer it, then I'll chime in as well. But the question is, what is one of your biggest challenges as a man of your race?
Biggest
What
challenge.
what is one of your biggest challenges as a man of your race?
The biggest challenge for me personally as a Black man in America, it's just, for me, it's the preconceived notions and just the normal biases that people tend to put on Black men before they even open their mouth or interact with people. Granted, I haven't had a bunch of bad experiences.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have never been, well, no, I can't even say I haven't been accosted by the police, because I have. But I haven't had a bunch of bad experiences. I can't sit here and point to a bunch of different things that have happened to me that have given me a bad outlook on the world. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm probably one of the most positive people you're going to meet. But it's just being a Black man in this world, we always have to encounter some sort of negativity, some sort of bias, some
Mhm.
sort of preconceived notion, and we always have to start 5 steps behind everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter my accomplishments, no matter my credentials, no matter what I achieve, I always have to start 5 steps behind everybody else.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm somebody who, if I do have to start 5 steps behind, I usually gain ground pretty fast. Like I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna be disrespected. I'm not gonna be told I can't achieve anything. If I put my mind to it, I'm gonna achieve it. But it's very annoying that I always have to start 5 steps behind everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. And you and I are in different age brackets, and so that's interesting that you would say that. And I think it's progress that you haven't had a whole lot of discrimination or things like that. So in a way, that is progress. I think for me, the biggest challenge is kind of online with what you said, is that um, especially having been in a managerial role, that um, you always feel like you are on an island by yourself. I think most managers do anyway, but if you're a black manager, you always feel like you're on an island of your own, and you want to help as many black people as you can, but you also realize that you know you have a job to do. But I think it's that pressure of feeling like, okay, I'm on this island by myself. I don't have like anybody that I can really talk to or who can relate to what I'm going through. And so I think that's probably that has been the biggest challenge that I face professionally. Now, personally, I think I think we all as black people have found ourselves in a situation where we um, are in an elevator or something like that, and somebody clutched a purse or locked their car when a black man comes around, and it's always this preconceived notion, especially if you're younger, that you're going to do something bad. You know what I mean? And so those are always challenges, and trying to convince people that no, I'm actually a decent person, is you just got to get used to that. I think as a black man, really. But I remember growing up, it's been plenty of times where, like you said, you get pulled over by the police. I've been handcuffed by the police for no reason, and while working on our job, and you know, showing them my identification, and still getting you know, getting pulled over and handcuffed. So it's always this feeling that we're doing something bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those are big challenges. And so I don't know if black women feel the same way, but I know a lot of black men feel that way as well. You always feel like you're kind of on an island by yourself, at least in my generation. But I would love to hear from other people. Either shoot us an email, you know, give us, send us a message. We would love to hear from you. Like, what are your thoughts? Okay, next question, Brian. Okay, this one should be easy. Should be easy. Well, the last one wasn't bad, but what qualities are most attractive to you in a woman? And
My
we're
wife.
we're asking these questions. This is a different conversation. These are cards designed and written by Pam and Leroy Evans in Chicago, Illinois. Good friends of mine. You got to pick up these. These are great. What qualities are most attractive to you in a woman?
So my answer was my wife.
Good answer. Good. Don't
My
mess that
wife.
up. Don't mess that up,
Yeah.
right?
But no. So in describing my wife, she's beautiful. That's number one. She's authentic. She is honest. Now she didn't start off this way, but this quality. No. Everything I've already stated, she started off that way. But what I'm about to say, she wasn't always understanding, but through the course of our marriage and through communication and conversation and learning each other more, she's become more understanding to, how I react, how I do things. And likewise, I've had to adjust to her style also. But she's creative. She is inspiring. I often call her my muse. I'm a photographer and a visual artist. So a lot of what I do and create, she's my inspiration.
Yeah.
And so all of those qualities that she exudes, I pour that into my art, and it helps me to kind of create what I do. So that's what I find attractive in my wife.
That's a good and you know what? I concur with what Brian has said in answering that question. But also, to add to that, to be a good listener, to know that somebody has your back is really important. And I think most men would want that, is somebody who, like you said, trustworthy. There's certain qualities that, when you're younger, you may not think are important, but as you get older and you start a family, like having someone who has a good, strong faith foundation is really, really, really important. And the same goes for my wife, as well as all the things that you said. And, you gotta have that. But just having that quality of, you know, just being there for you, and, making sure that, that they recognize that they've got your back. And so, okay. And so we do have, my wife chimed in and she said, I'm a Black woman. I feel my voice or opinion is silenced or does not carry the same weight many times when sitting at the boardroom table with other races. And that's a great point, Tamika. And she's referring to our first question, which is, what is one of your biggest challenges as a man of your race? And so, you know, that is something that we all feel. Like, you ever been in a meeting, Brian, and they're like, okay, we're kind of disregarding like what you said and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with what she said. And again, it's discouraging, but like your wife and so many other leaders, and like you that I know and I've had the honor to serve with, like our resiliency to not give up in the face of people continually pretty much showing us their non-desirable end of their body.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm proud of us. Like, again, it's a shame that we have to fight so hard to have a seat at the table. Absolutely. And have to even create our own table in order to make, some sort of difference. But I'm proud of us for continuing the fight and not giving up. Like, and we make sure that our voice is heard and our talents are appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a real talk, real conversation, everyone. I'm not going to name names, but my first week on the job where I used to work before I retired, a white supervisor came to me in the garage, because we have a garage with a bunch of vehicles and things like that. I was talking to another Black guy who was in class with me, and he said, you know what? I'm glad you guys are here, but I want to tell you that you're never going to be a supervisor here. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He said, look around. There's no Black supervisors here. Like, at the time it was 2. He said, well, there's 2. And he said, I doubt if we ever get any more than that. And so, at the time I felt like, okay, I need to leave this job. You know what I mean? And so, but that's what motivated me to keep going. What he did, I was about to call his name, but what he did was inspired me. And what he did was make me work just a little bit harder. And I always kept that thought in the back of my mind. over the next 25, 30 years. And so I did run into him later on, and he was surprised at where I ended up. But and that was a nice thing too, you know. But I mean, who says that? Like, who says, okay, that other people don't have to go through that? You know what I mean? I could tell you
Yeah.
a bunch of stories. Well, I could tell you a bunch, but definitely go get these cars. These cars are amazing, and it's really a great conversation that you can have with your son, your grandfather, your father. You know, if you're sitting on the porch sipping some lemonade, pull out these cards and ask one of the questions. And I got another one for you, Brian. What
I'm ready.
personal advice would you give your younger self entering into manhood? I really like this one. What personal advice would you give your younger self entering into manhood?
How much time would I have with my younger self? Wow, that's a. I would tell my younger self so much. I mean, I would tell myself to live in the moment, take advantage of every opportunity presented to you. Don't waste time. Invest your money.
Yeah.
Be mindful of who you surround yourself with.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there.
There's so much stuff. So I mean, it's like when you think about it in retrospect, you know, there are things, of course, you would change. There are people you wouldn't necessarily meet, or there are some situations you probably wouldn't put yourself in. But at the same time, it's those situations that kind of shaped who you are now. And so for me, if there was a way for me to learn those lessons without certain people or without certain experiences, I would definitely remove those hurdles that I put myself in. But if I couldn't learn those lessons without them, I wouldn't change anything.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense, because some of the things. So this is an interesting question, because a lot of our experiences have caused us to be who we are, right? And so without it, would you be the same person? Is a good question. But some of the things I think I would tell my younger self is that so I always struggled with being a good person. Like, you know, I remember my mother, a girl broke up with me like when I was 12 or 13 years old, and I was upset, and my mother was like, and one of the things she said in her note when she broke up, she wrote a note and broke up with, was that I was just a good guy. I was a good person. And so I always struggled with being this good guy, you know? And so my mother said, no, that's who you are. But I never really believed her. I wanted to be like Tupac, you know what I mean? I wanted to be on that side of things, because I thought that's what gets all the girls and things like that. So what I would tell myself is trust who you are, that, you know, continue to be good, continue to do the right thing, you know. But more than anything, this is who you are, and embrace that goodness in you. You know what I mean? And so it took me years to get comfortable with, like, hey, you know what? I'm a good person. You know what? That's deal with it. You know what I mean? And so, but you have to, that's cause from growth. You have to, it's okay to be a good person. It's okay if some people don't like it. And then you just gotta say, so what, and move on, you know?
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna steal that one. I would say that to my younger self too.
You can't steal mine.
No, but that's real though. And that's ironic. Well, not ironic, because I think we've realized we have a lot of similarities. But that's literally something that I struggled with particularly in college.
Yeah.
High school, I was a total nerd. I didn't understand how I had so many friends. People loved me in high school, but I was a nerd, right?
Yeah.
Didn't really know who I was. I kind of just went with the flow. College, I kind of became more confident in myself, but I got the same thing. And college is really that transition from kid to adulthood. And I literally would always get that comment. People will always question me, why are you so nice? Or
Yeah.
why do you have such a positive outlook on life? Or,
Right.
they would question my positivity. And it was always that was weird to me. Like, what do you want me to walk around sad and mad all day? Like, I don't
Exactly.
get it.
Yeah.
You want me to be mean to people? But
Right.
I definitely agree. I would definitely tell myself to be
Yeah.
confident in who you are, because now people love us.
And you know what? We don't care if you don't. So that's the second part today. But
Get with it or go home.
yeah, yes. But you're right though. It's but when you're younger, you feel like, why am I so different? But you really aren't. You know what? You might be different, and that's a good thing. And that's a good thing, is to be different. Continue to be a good person, whoever you are out there. If you don't try to fit into the rest of society, you continue to be a good person. You continue to do the right thing, and I'm telling you, it's gonna pay off. I'm sure they made fun of Bill Gates when he was younger. You know what I mean? I'm sure some of these other guys were made fun of when they were younger, but look at them now. But those experiences are going to help you later on in life for sure. But these are good questions, right, Brian?
I like them. I like this game. I'm gonna have to go order one.
You don't got to order it because I got one for you. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I got you. But yeah. Don't order one. I got you. But without a doubt, I want everybody go get these are just good conversation. Like if you sitting around with family, friends, you don't have anything to do, order these cards. They're phenomenal. We're also going to put them on our social media and on our website as well. Really good. Okay. Last one. I know we're getting low on time. I know CC and Jamar are like, okay, time is coming to a close, but what is the greatest lesson a man has taught you? What is the greatest lesson a man has taught you?
The greatest lesson that a man has taught me, I have to, I have to talk about my dad,
Yeah. I was about to say, I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah, it hit me just now. I got to get myself together. But
yeah.
No, it's just growing up, and it wasn't always so much of a conversation. It was more so his example. So one of the things that he taught me that I kind of really embrace with my kids is just don't let life make you so busy that you ignore the important things right in front of you. And so I know
you gotta repeat that one more time, Brian.
Don't let life make you so busy that you ignore the important things that are right in front of you.
Yeah, I like that.
And so I know growing up, my dad was a leader in every area of his life. He was a photographer by occupation. He's Nigerian, so we had 1 billion family members in the area, and then he was always trying to, travel to make sure he saw everybody. And so he was always busy, but there were times when my dad was intentional, and he would wake me up on Saturday mornings and he would take me on road trips to like North Carolina. We would drive to North Carolina, wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, drive to North Carolina. He would make sure he took me with him. We would go see family. We would go eat. We would, have father-son time. One time he told me to pack my bags, and we left the house at like 8 o'clock at night. I woke up the next morning, we're in Niagara Falls. And, he made sure I experienced that. And you know, to the point where when I got to high school, he was a leader in one of his organizations. He had been a leader for over 5 years, 6 years, doing amazing work. And he made the conscious decision to step down as the leader of that organization because I was going to college, and he wanted to make sure that everything I experienced, he was there to help me and be there. And there would be nothing holding him back from supporting me if I needed it. So, and he never, like, again, he never had these conversations with me. It was literally just what he did that taught me, to the point now where with my kids, you know, with my busy schedule, I'm always intentional about making sure they know that they're important and their priority, even with my wife. And I know, like, last month, I grabbed all 3 of my kids and I drove them down to Florida, and we had a road trip, a daddy and kid road trip. Took them to all these places in Orlando. We even stopped at all the places that me and my dad would stop at when we had road trips, and it was a good way to connect with the kids. And the whole trip, I got an opportunity to just really love and appreciate what my dad did for me when he was here with us. And so I would say that's probably the greatest lesson a man has ever taught me.
Yeah, that's great. And he was a great man. He really was. And I can tell just from knowing you that he was a great man. So, but if you ever go down to Orlando, you can always stay with Jamar or CC, okay? Like, for free. They don't mind putting you up. So don't do that. That go for anybody. If you ever in the Orlando area.
I got to use them good hotel points from work.
I got you. Okay. For me, I'm gonna keep it quick, but a lot of people don't know this story, but I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'll tell you later at some point. But at one point I was arrested, believe it or not. And so I actually got arrested while my parents were on vacation. So when my father came off vacation, my sister Jan, she was the one watching us and things like that, and my sister Jackie and Joyce and things like that. And so I knew I thought I was dead, Brian. Like, I was packing up my stuff and I was telling my brother, like, it's been nice knowing you, because I knew when my father got home he was just gonna kill me. And so so I was telling all my friends goodbye and giving them stuff, and you could have my bike and all kinds of stuff like that. And so, but my father, when he came in, he was mad, but he came into my room and he slammed the door and he sat on the bed and he saw my suitcase was over there in the corner, and he was like, "Where are you going?" And he said, "Well, I was like, "Well, I know what's about to happen." And he said, "Look, sit down." And again, he reiterated that I'm a good person. You know what I mean? And so he reiterated some of the good things that I've done up to that point in my life. And so, so that was a game changer. Now, he still tore me up. Now, like, don't.
So you still gonna get this work, but let me encourage you first.
Yeah. But he did encourage me, but it was a happy whooping. It was a happy spanking. Because I felt like stronger then. You know what I mean? And so, so just by doing little things like that is great. But he always held you accountable for your actions. At the same time. But make sure to let me know you are a good person. You don't have to do those things that other people are doing. You are a good person. Continue to be that good person. And so that was really a life changer for me. So that was really inspirational. But I had a lot of people, my brother and my next door neighbor, Chucky, I had so many people to help me that's why a few good mentors is so important. You got to have that network of people to help you. I would not have made it without all of those people in my life. So it's really important. One of the things that I'm really proud of before we close out is my son is doing a he's really into bike riding, right, Brian? And so he's doing a 200-mile bike ride. And he came to me, he said, Dad, I want to do this. How can we do this for AFGM? And we talked about it. We thought about it. And he said, I want to do something for AFGM. And he's been working out and getting ready for this ride. It's actually in Nebraska, so he's going to fly out there. And there's the link to donate. But we really want to, he really wants to help out AFGM. I'm proud of him for even thinking of us to do it. And, you know, and the inspiring story behind it. I'm just asking everybody, like, to run an organization like A Few Good Mentors Incorporated takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. Nothing in this country is free. So, but we are not going to charge the parents for our services. So we need the business community and our regular community to really step up. We need mentors, but we need donations. We need people to help us in other areas. But if you can find the time in your heart, just $25 to help us would be fantastic. You know, we really do need the help to continue doing what we're doing. And so we're just asking everybody out there, social media, friends, family, you know, let's support Michael Jr. as he goes on his bike ride for A Few Good Mentors and helps the organization. It's a lot of work he's putting in, you know, for this bike ride. Very, very impressed with what he's doing and very thankful for what he's doing. But we really want our community to help us out as much as we can. But yeah, I think it's a great thing. And anybody else wants to help us out, like, please reach out to us. We could use the help. So that's about all that I have for this week. You know, we have a few other things going on. Look forward to, if you're not linked up with us for our newsletter, you definitely want to be a part of our newsletter for the month of May, which is coming out soon. We have a special article on AI, which we haven't really touched on, Brian, but you know, we need a special show just on AI, but we have a little article on that. We have just a lot of things that are going on. I want to thank the moms of A Few Good Mentors for coming over. My wife put together a great event for the moms, which was fantastic at our house. So, you know, we just want to thank them as well. But look forward to that. We're gonna have a little bit in a newsletter on that. If you want to link up with our newsletter, just reach out to us. Leave your contact information on our website, and we'll get back to you. Once again, thank you to Brian, Jamar, Cece. You guys are amazing. Mark, we're still thinking about you, praying for you and your family. And, you know, we look forward to next month. But in the meantime, keep watching YouTube. You may see some other videos pop up before our next broadcast in June. But thank you all for tuning in. Any last words, Brian?
No, nothing outside of what you just said. Just, you know, reiterating, be sure to link up with AFGM. Make sure you are donating. And, you know, if you know any young people who need mentors, this is the place for them. Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next month.
Tell them thank you. Yeah. Tell them thank you. Yeah.
Text your people, they should. All the problems and your needs if you just lawyer, doctor, anything if you just you got some questions about some things you just you a king, be the king. You just got proper comfort for the queens if they live in feather, see the dream. Get your phone, text your people, they should